Hi guys, this is just a very quick impromptu video, so forgive the lighting. I was at my workshop yesterday and one of my ladies asked me how to make this cute little medallion using the Ornate Arches punch, which is unfortunately no longer available, but you may be able to get one on a buy swap sell site. So usually the Ornate Arches, is you start off with a 6x6 square and it makes a doily about, so big. But there is a technique to use to create just a little tiny doily, which is super pretty. So what we need to do is start off with a piece of cardstock, which is 6 inches long, and then 2 3/16 wide. Okay, so I'll just show you. Sorry, a little bit awkward here. Hope you can see. So we've got 2 inches, and then we want to count 3/16. So 1, 2, 3/16. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So we'll just trim that off. Okay, let's put you aside. Alrighty, so to make our cuts using the punch, we need to make sure that we're feeding the paper in lengthwise along that long edge of the punch at the top. Okay, we don't want to go in this way because when you make your punch, it's not going to cut it in the right place, so you're not going to get your little medallion. Okay, so just make sure you're sliding your long edge lengthways along that top edge of the punch. Okay, so we'll secure that in, punch it down, and then what we're going to do is just turn it over. Okay, we're just going to flip it 90 degrees, and then again in the same direction, long edge up against the long edge of the punch at the top, and then we'll punch that out. Okay, so that's the beginning of the medallion made. So now what we need to do is just trim this end bit off so that we can pop it back into the punch and complete that. To do that, the measurement is to pop the top shoulder. Oh, get you on the video. So we need to pop this top shoulder of the remaining cardstock up against the second cutting line on your mat. Okay, so the bottom line is where the blade cuts, and there's another line on the top of your cutting mat, which is, I think that's 2/16 or so. It's a 1/2 quarter. But anyway, we're going to pop the shoulder up on that top marked line on the cutting mat. Okay, this is our Creative Memories trimmer for reference. Okay, we're just going to trim that off. Okay, put that to one side. We're just going to reserve that piece that we cut off because we're going to need it. Okay, I have found it easy if we just trim off these little long bits on either side. Okay, it just makes it easier to get that piece back up into the punch. Okay, but you do need the full length that we have here. All right, so now what we need to do is create like a little handle because, it's not long enough now to get back into the punch. So we need to get something to hold on to so we can get that back into the cutting area on the punch. So what we're going to use is some repositionable tape, and we'll just use that piece of cardstock that we cut off and just pop it on the top cut edge of that piece that we've already punched, so we've got something to hold on to. Okay, much easier to hold it upside down so we can see what we're doing. But what we now need to do is put this piece back into the punch, and now what we need to do is just line up our cut pieces with the punch holes so we can cut that last piece. Now I've used white cardstock to try and make it a little bit easier for us to see. I don't know how easy that's for you to see. Sorry, I just need to hold it this way so that I can see what I'm doing. And sometimes what I find, if I just start closing the punch a little just to hold it in place when I get there. All right, that looks good. All right, so you can see now in these spaces here, you can't see any cardstock through them. So that means that I've got my piece lined up with those holes, okay? So we're just going to punch. And voila, we have our little medallion. So this is not my idea. I think this is Jennine Doyle had some pictures on Pinterest, but I couldn't find a video, so I've done that for my ladies. So give it a go. It did take a little bit of practice, but that is super cute and super effective. So have a go at it if you've got the Ornate Arches punch. And if you don't have one, and you do see someone come up on the Buy Swap Sell, I do recommend you get that because it's super pretty. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.